Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Once again, I am Rodina Manzanillo Fajardo, instructor in the subject Teaching Multigrade Classes. So before you continue watching, please click like and subscribe. Now let us move on to the course description of this subject Teaching Multigrade Classes. So this is a course in implementation of multi-grade course that deals with the theories, principles, and concepts of multi-grade learners and classes. It includes pedagogical approaches and contextualized learning environments for the different grade and age levels that are grouped for instructions in different school situations. Therefore, in this subject, for the whole semester, we will be dealing on the theories, principles, and concepts of multi-grade learners and classes. So what is multi-grade class? So when you say multi-grade class, it consists of two or more different grade levels in a single grade classroom manned by one teacher for an entire school year. So if you're going to put that into a diagram, it's simply like this. For multi-grade class, having one teacher with different grade levels in one classroom. So that is multi-grade classes is. Now, what are the other labels for multi-grade education? There's a lot of labels for multi-grade education, and one of those are the multi-grade, the multi-age, the mixed age, the vertical grouping, the combination, composite, double grade, split grade, dual age, hyphenated, non-graded, etc. So, if you're going to look at these levels, it only means that it is multi-grade classes. Okay, so when you say double grade or split grade or dual age, you are referring to a multi-grade education. You are referring to a multi-grade classes. Okay, now where is multi-grade classes located? It is mostly located in remote areas. Okay, it is mostly located in remote areas in which there are few people, in which there are few students. So when you say remote areas, transport is inaccessible, and this could be accessible through hiking, animal ride, or bangka ride, etc. So that's what we call remote areas, no? Remote areas. Now, why multi-grade classrooms are created? It is because of logistical reasons such as declining or uneven enrollments. So that's one of the reasons why multi-grade classrooms are created. Now, so what are these? Single grade classes, pedagogic multi-grade classes, and combination multi-grade classes. So when you say single grade classes, it only means that in a classroom, there is one teacher with one grade level. That is single grade classes. Okay, so what about combination multi-grade classes and pedagogic multi-grade classes? So these two are under multi-grade classrooms. Okay, so when you say combination multi-grade classes, it says in here, have students from two or more grades and one teacher who teaches them. So for example, in a classroom, in one classroom, there is one teacher teaching teaching two or more grade levels. Example, if in one classroom there are grade 1 and grade 2, and there's one teacher, we call that as combination multi-grade classes. What we call as the pedagogic multi-grade classes. So in here, for example, in one classroom with different grade levels, for example, grades 1 and 2, with different teachers or with 2 or more teachers teaching in those grade levels, then we call it as pedagogic multigrade classes. Understood? Again, so when you say pedagogic multigrade classes, the example of that is, for example, in one classroom, there are grades 1 and grades 2, or grades there's grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3, and then with those grade levels, there are 2 or more teachers teaching. Okay? Now, is teaching multi-grade classrooms difficult? Based on the researches, it says that teaching multi-grade classes is more difficult than teaching single-grade classes. Multi-grade classes hold instructional potential for some, but they potentially difficult for most. Yes, for some, they call teaching multi-grade classes as their potential or as their advantage, but for the others, no, they call it as very difficult and it's their disadvantage. So multi-grade classes lead to a negative instructional effect, and that they increase teachers' stress and may jeopardize or threaten teachers' motivation and commitment to teaching. So most teachers, when asked about their feelings toward an organizational and teaching strategies for combination classes, responded negatively and preferred not to teach them. But of course, with the whole admission, we have nothing to say but to say yes. So teachers report that these classes require more planning and are difficult to teach and diminish instruction and curriculum coverage. So that is according to the research of Mason and Burns in the year 1997. So multi-grade teachers press for instructional time and the mastery of basic skills. So what are those basic skills? Those are what we call as the reading, writing, and mathematics. And this might neglect science, social studies, and other subjects which would lead to negative achievement effects in these areas. So because no, they are pressing of the instructional time, tendency would be that teachers would rather focus on the basic skills which are the what we call as the reading, writing, and mathematics. Now, since teaching multi-grade classes, no, as said in some of the researches that is very hard to teach multi-grade classes, in accordance with RA 4670, which we call as the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, teachers teaching multi-grade classes are having or are given a special hardship allowance. Okay? A special hardship allowance, and that shall not exceed 25% of the basic pay. And what is a special hardship allowance? It refers to allowance granted to qualified teachers under any of the following situations. First, being assigned to a hardship post. Second, performing multi-grade teaching. And third, carrying out mobile teaching functions or performing functions of non-formal education, which is now called as alternative learning system. Okay, so teaching multi-grade classes, performing multi-grade teaching is included in here, no, to have a special hardship allowance. Okay, since we said a while ago that teaching multi-grade classes is really very, very hard, then since it's very hard, then you can have a special, yeah, we could have a special hardship allowance rather, and that would not exceed to 25% of your basic pay. Now, so according to Dex Order number 73, series of 1996, if you are handling 2 grades, then you could have 15% of your monthly basic pay. Then if you are handling 3 grades, then you can have 20% of your monthly basic pay. And if you have, or if you are teaching 4 or more grades, then you can have 25% of your basic pay. Example, if your basic pay is 20,000 and you are teaching 2 grades, then multiply that to 15%. So 20,000 times 15%, that is equal to 3,000. Then, you divide the number of days present in a month to the total number of working days. So 17 divided by 22, that is equal to 0.77. So multiply that, 3,000 times 0.77. In a month, you can have 2,310. Okay? Now, so this special hardship allowance is claimed quarterly. Take note, it's quarterly basis. Now, what are the prerequisites for you to have the special hardship allowance? Of course, you need to pass the supporting documents. And what are those supporting documents? We have the what we call the school form 4, the form 48, or the what we call as DTR, or the daily time record, the biometric record, the accomplishment report, and the payslip. So this special hardship allowance, this fund is given by the DBM Budget Circular number 514, series of 2007. So the fund, the budget is from the DBM Budget Circular number 514, series of 2007. Now, what are the advantages of multi-grade class? First, it improves learning. Why? Because problem solving, higher level thinking, and learning methods develop at an earlier point with multi-grade classrooms. Simply because of the immersion experience that brings students together. Second, no? The students are more exposed to pre-learning and pre-teaching. Therefore, if the case is like this, mastery of learning would be more possible. The students could be able to master more the lessons, no? Because they are more exposed into it as they move on to their grade level. Next. So what about the disadvantages of multi-grade classrooms? Okay, it says in here that the schools practicing multi-grade teaching often suffer from inadequate material resources. Then, in remote areas, teachers' passivity, irregularity, ill planning, non-accountability, and engagement in non-academic pursuits create and maintain a low school profile. Kasi nga, malayo sila. Okay? And it's very hard for them to go to central areas. Now, academic achievement results from multi-grade classrooms. So based on the researches, there is no differences in academic achievement between multi-grade classrooms and single-grade classrooms. So there is no difference based on researches. Based on academic achievements, there is no differences in academic achievement between multi-grade classrooms and single-grade classrooms. Now, so based on the research of Mason and Burns, it says that multi-grade classes have at least a small negative effect on achievement as well as potentially negative effects on teachers' motivation. Now, So the research is not definitive because there are factors that have not really been tested out. In order to plan successfully for the needs of your students, you need to understand something the way students learn. No? For you to be able to succeed, no, as being a teacher, you need to understand first how students learn. So what about the recommendation? The overall recommendations regarding multi-grade, multi-age, or combination classrooms. So first, it is likely that the quality of the learning methods utilized and the teacher's performance in the classroom makes more of difference than whether a multi-grade or single-grade approach is utilized. So if a multi-grade approach is utilized, then it should be utilized with due diligence, providing teacher support and development, utilizing team teaching, encouraging many diagnostic opportunities. So third, multi-grade teaching seems to offer the possibility for alternative methods of learning, and that is group work. Okay? And then, in some forms of multi-grade teaching, especially those that utilize team teaching, teachers have to learn the skill levels and many more students. Because one of the most important aspects of teaching is providing learners with just the right level of instruction. Teachers with less experience may be especially unprepared for multi-grade teaching. So that's why, it's very helpful to the new multi-grade teachers to give them seminars, trainings, or orientations before they go to their new job, before they teach multi-grade classes. Okay, so that's all for this time. These are my references. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.